Well, they're largely recovered because they're being pumped up by the central banks with QE. And again, to understand what QE does, you've got to think in double entry bookkeeping terms. So I've built a few models of QE using Minsky. And what QE is an asset swap. It's the central bank says we're going to buy bonds off you and put money in your bank account in return for the bonds, the bank account being the reserves of the financial sector. So that means the financial sector, like in America's case, when QE was going on, standard QE, which is back, of course, after the financial crisis rather than after COVID, they were putting $80 billion per month into the financial sector and taking $80 billion worth of bonds off them. That's $1 trillion a year. Now, that meant that financial sector had $1 trillion less of income earning assets, which means they then go buy shares. So QE itself turned around the stock market, and the central banks have a limitless capacity to do that. Now what they've done during the coronavirus is I believe the total level of bond buying by the central bank has been 3 trillion. So you pump 3 trillion into the financial sector, you reduce their income earning bonds by 3 trillion, increase their cash by 3 trillion. What are they going to do with the 3 trillion in cash? They're going to buy shares. So I think that bubble that we're seeing right now is totally driven by the central banks. And this is a case where, because they're driven, there are some sensible people inside central banks, but most of them are neoclassical economists. And that's by definition not sensible. What on earth are we doing giving people control of the monetary system who believe money doesn't matter? Okay, so they're stuffing up completely. And the so-called K-shaped recovery, I think will only yet again exacerbate the inequality driven by the dynamics of private debt that got us in this crisis in the first place.